potent. Hello from my side of the screen. I'm Leah Mojo. Welcome or welcome back to my channel where I retell Bible stories while putting my makeup on at the same time. If you're ever interested in the products that I'm using on my face, I will link all of those down in the description box below. And if you want to know where I purchased my personal Bible from, I will link that in the description box as well. So grab yourself a drink and make yourself comfy. But first, disclaimer. I am not a pastor, nor theologian, nor historian. I am simply a lover of Jesus and makeup. That's it. I encourage you to read the good book for yourself. If you have any questions or doubts, that just makes you human. Not here to change anyone's opinions, but I do hope that this series is life-giving and opens us all up to exploring and stretching our individual faiths whilst encouraging us to think outside of ourselves. Cool? I bet. Let's get into it. Ooh, I gotta zoom in every time I want to see these notes, because let me tell you, I feel like I need a magnifying glass, bruh. Today's story is going to be coming from Genesis chapters 4 and 5. Last week, we talked about Adam and Eve's eviction from the Garden of Eden. Now they're just out on their own. No garden, no lavish lifestyle, just out, working the grounds, trying to grow food, and sweating. Despite this, and being out on their own, away from their luxurious paradise, they still have each other. And they start working on populating the earth like the Lord told them to. So Eve gets pregnant with her first child, and his name is Cain. A few years later, she pops out Abel. All right, so 2 sons. So they grow up. Cain becomes essentially like a farmer because he works the soil. Abel becomes a shepherd dealing with the flock. Now, as a family, they all gave offerings to God as was commanded of them. Now, Cain's offering, he would give some of the fruits of the soil. Cool. Abel would bring some of his firstborn flock since he was a shepherd. And these were like the fattest of the fattest. You know what I mean? These were healthy flock. Now, this doesn't sound like much today, but remember, there's only like 3 people on the planet at this point. But essentially, it's one brother giving, their best of the best of their flock. And the other brother is just kind of giving you his second best, something pretty average. No real care put into it at all, you know what I mean? Now, I know some people are just better at giving gifts than others, but this was different. You know what I mean? Like, God knew that Abel's heart was more in it than Cain's was. Like, if you compare it to food, it's essentially Abel is making God a home-cooked meal full of seasonings, you know what I'm saying? Spices, you know what I'm saying? Rich and flavorful, you know what I'm saying? Cain is giving God the stale oodles and noodles in the back of the cabinet with the half-open seasoning packet that's probably crystallized by now, you know what I mean? We all know about that stale ramen noodle packet. It's been sitting in our cabinets for years. So naturally, God is more pleased with Abel's offering because it's coming from his heart, Like in this instance, and every instance really, it's all about the heart behind it. Like if all you have is ramen noodles, like that's your last meal and you don't have nothing else and you want to give that, that's heartfelt. You know what I'm saying? Because without that, you finna starve. But if you out here, you got steaks, snow crab leg, and you give somebody the ramen noodles in the back of your pantry, bruh, keep it. That's just rude. And that's essentially what Cain was doing to God. Which you see the problem in that, right? Right? One brother out here busting it and the other one is just, slumming it. I be comparing everything to food because I feel like it just resonates more. You know what I mean? I need to chill. Back to the story. God is a little bit more pleased with Abel's offering over Cain's offering. And it's understandable. And Cain is really upset by this. He's really peeved off by this, by God being more impressed or gassed by his brother Abel's offering. And God knows. He knows that Cain's upset by this. So he asked Cain, listen, why are you upset? What's the problem? Again, God be asking questions that he already knows the answer to. And this is a pattern that you shall see throughout the entire Bible. Anyway, God is like, Cain, if you would just step your game up and we'd be Gucci. Like Abel is literally giving top tier, the fattest from his flock. And Cain, you're out here like, here's $1, kid. Don't spend it all in one place. But he also tells Cain, like, listen, I know you're upset and you need to check your anger because sin is crouching at your door. A little ominous foreshadowing there for you. Clearly, Cain didn't want to hear none of that. So he goes to his brother Abel and he's like, hey, buddy. Hey, man. You trying to go to this field? You trying to go on a little field trip with me? You want to go out to the field? Let's take a brotherly trip out to the field. And Abel's probably like, well, what are we going to do in the field, Cain? Don't worry about it, Abel. Just walk with me, bro. Walk with me. Little did Abel know that that would be his last field trip. While out in the field, Cain attacks his brother Abel. We don't know the details of what happened because the Bible didn't really go into it. We just know that Abel was attacked. And during the attack, he's killed. That's right. You heard me right. Talk about jealousy and rage. Oh my God, the ghetto. So then God asked Cain, hey man, where's your brother? You know, your brother, Abel. Where is he? And Cain's response to God is, quote, IDK, am I my brother's keeper? End quote. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out who you talking to, Cain. Who are you talking to? Whew. Couldn't have been me. Because I'd have popped him in his mouth. You smart-mouthed little. So now here we have the very first murder ever committed. So of course, naturally, God is angered by this. Dang, your parents messed up. Now you out here killing your brother? Like, what have I created? So of course he's like, Cain, what have you done? Your brother's blood cries out to me from the earth. As a result of the thing that you have done, the ground will no longer yield its crops to you. And you will be driven from this land to be a restless wanderer for the rest of your days. Whew. That's crazy. So Cain hears this and he's kind of freaking out a little bit. He's like, wait, what? Wanderer? Mind you, like, he's never been anywhere. I mean, where else is there to go? We're still in the first book of the Bible. Ain't nobody explored nothing yet. Wanderer? You finna send me into the unknown? Into the unknown. So Cain is shook. He's like, no. This is way too severe a punishment for me. You're driving me out from your presence, away from the only land and family I've ever known. Meanwhile, I'm like, Cain, you just killed your brother. Like I wonder, did he realize the severity of what he'd done? Seeing as it was the first murder, you know, did he just assume that, he'll wake up eventually? Like, I really want to know if he understood that he just ended a life. So Cain's probably like hyperventilating at this point, spazzing out, realizing the consequences of his actions. So he's freaking out like, no, God, like, you can't send me away. Anyone who finds me out there is going to kill me. Side note, when I was reading that the first time, I was just like, anyone who finds me is going to kill me. Ain't you and your parents the only ones on this earth now? Hear me out. I got a little theory. Hear me out. If God could blow air into dust and make Adam, what makes me think that he couldn't have done that with some other dust in another section on the planet? We don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that if Cain was worried about being killed by someone else, we have to assume that there are someone else's. Okay, back to Cain and God's conversation. So God, in his infinite mercy, is like, listen, Cain, I'm going to make sure that no one kills you. So I'm going to put a mark on you so that no one kills you. And he tells them anyone who tries to kill you will be avenged 7 times over. But you still gotta go though. Like, you're still being punished. You can't stay up in here. So Cain is evicted from the only land that he's ever known because of the crime that he committed. Now, it doesn't go much into detail about the rest of Cain's life, but it does say that he ended up east of Eden in a land called Nod. Who named it Nod? I don't know. 'Cause again, at this point, The only people that are mentioned are Adam, Eve, Cain, and the deceased Abel. But I guess somebody else's live in Nod. Because Cain went to Nod and found himself a wife and started to populate the earth. Because this is where the Bible goes into the begats. For those of you who don't know, the begats of the Bible are the bloodlines. So-and-so begat so-and-so, and so on and so forth. So Cain begat, or had a son, named Enoch. We'll circle back to him in a second. He's important. Meanwhile, Adam and Eve are also still begatting because they were still making babies. And what else is there to do, you know? They're not sitting around watching Netflix. They had a son named Seth. Now, Eve is really happy about her new baby Seth because, remember, Abel is dead and Cain has been banished for killing him. So, follow me closely because I'm going to get kind of bloodline technical. Back to the line of Cain. He was apparently like the great-great-great-great-grandpa to some guy named Lamech, who also committed a murder. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, you know what I mean? So after Lamech committed his murder, he told his wives, listen, ladies, I did something, okay? I killed somebody. I killed him for wounding me. But nothing's gonna happen to me, okay? Because if God protected my great-great-great-great-grandpapa Cain, whatever protection that he bestowed upon Cain, he better bestow the same protection upon me. And I don't know about y'all, but I just find that so audaciously bold to just assume that there's going to be no punishments for your crimes. What do I know? So there's Lamech. But let's circle back to Enoch for today's conclusion. Enoch was a good dude, okay? Apparently the only good dude in these couple of verses because the rest of these guys seem like total scumbags. He was like a really good dude. The Bible really talks this guy up. He says he walked faithfully with God. Super stand-up guy. So much so that when Enoch was 300 something years old, I want to say. Mind you, back then, folks was living to be like 900 and something. So 300 or something is pretty young. He was such a great guy that God all of a sudden just one day decided, you know what? Just gonna bring Enoch home. The Bible literally says, and Enoch was no more. He just took him away. Vanished right off the face of the earth. Now, mind you, for everyone else in the begats, the Bible actually says that they died. And such lived to be such and such amount of years, and then he died. For Enoch, it literally just says, and he was no more. I mean, that's just wild to me. I wonder how it happened. Was there like a portal or something that opened up? I don't... Like, was he just like, beam me up, Scotty? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. But you and God gotta be like real ace boon coons to just be teleporting people up out of here. I'm trying to get like that. I'm trying to get teleported out of today's America. Pick me, my lord. But before he was teleported, he begat some children too. Oh yeah, he has some kids. Because the begats just keep on going. And that is how we reach a little well-known fella by the name of Noah. Oh, have you heard of him? But that, my friends, is next week's story. Can't give you guys too much in 1 week. So that wraps up this Bible story and today's makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Leave any comments that you might have on today's video down below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content. Follow me on Instagram because that's where I be. And I will see you guys soon for next week's story where we dive into Noah. Get it? Dive. Because a flood's coming. All right, bye.